before we leave, we need to talk about the faith of the people here and the strength that they had. The greatest story is that of Amanda Barnes Smith, and you've heard in your Sunday school lessons how she was able to take a lye solution from the fire, the shagbark hickory trees that they'd been burning, and make a lye solution and treat the hip wound that was in Alma's hip socket, and how her 11-year-old son Willard, he saved 6 girls' lives, told them to scatter and find a better place to hide. In his account, he talks about getting Father McBride a drink of water. I don't know how much he embellished his account, but Alex Baugh wrote that account up in the MMFF newsletter, I think in 2002. That's got a very interesting account of Willard Smith. There was, when the women were treating the wounded and the dying that night on the 30th, well, they sang a song. It's called the Moroni's Lamentation. I have the words, you can find the words to that. This song was sang by Lucy Mack Smith, Joseph Smith's mother. It says that she sang it in tongues. I think the tongues was the Nephite language. And Levi Hancock was able to interpret the tongues that she was speaking in, and the women were singing this Moroni's Lamentation as they tried to care for the wounded. It's what they call a dirge. It's kind of a mournful song. Another song that shows the song of faith. The saints were prohibited from praying when they were tending to their wounded here for a couple weeks after the massacre. And Amanda Barnes talks about going to the cornfield to pray. And while she was there, she heard a voice that recounts part of the 7th verse of how firm a foundation, how never, never, no, never forsake. And that gave her strength to carry on after her son Sardius and husband Warren were killed. It's a sad note that when they were putting people in the well, Joseph Young, who was the leader of the Kirtland camp that came through here just the day before, and the Smith family and a couple other families were the ones, were some of the people that were killed. And they were completely innocent coming through here just on their way to Far West. But Joseph Young escaped up Escape Hill, so he came and helped bury the dead the next day, along with David Evans and names half a dozen other men that helped bury the dead. But Joseph Young had grown attached to this young boy Sardius as they traveled from Kirtland 1,000 miles. And he was unable to put Sardius on a board and slide him in the well like they did the other bodies. So they just left him on the ground. Now, Amanda, the mother, was taking care of Alma, if you remember right. And she went out after the next day, that evening, and saw Sardis laying on the ground. And it's kind of sad that she had to get Willard, and she and Willard had to put Sardis on a board and slide him in the well because the men folks couldn't do it. There's just a lot of touching stories of faith and a lot of touching stories of the trials that people went through and the strength they got from our Father in heaven and His Son Jesus Christ.